I, for one, am not one to trust in the government. I trust in God. And long before this even began, I saw our country going in a direction where we were shifting away from "in God we trust" to "in government we trust." And I just want to take a moment to make a video to say, what does the Bible say about staying safe at home? Because it definitely has things to say about it. I don't think that it's time to listen to the government. I think it's time to listen to scientists, and I think it's time to listen to the Word of God. So I just want to talk about what is it the Bible has to say about staying in place. Now, there's a peculiar verse in Isaiah 26 that I'm going to talk about, and this particular verse is really, it kind of grabbed a hold of me when I first read it. I had not read it, honestly, until after this started. But I just want to take a moment and talk about it. We're going to start in 26. In verse 3, it says, "You will keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on you, because he trusts in you. Trust in the Lord forever, for in Yah, the Lord, is everlasting strength." Now, ultimately, what this says to me is that's trusting in God. In God we trust. This is why we do what we do. But this country has really, for the most part, gone away from leaning on the righteousness of God and leaning on themselves and what their own desires and their own wants are. And God's clearly not going to let that continue on. It goes on to say in 5, "For he brings down those who dwell on high. The lofty city, he lays it low. He lays it low to the ground. He brings it down to the dust." Now, ultimately, what I believe this is saying is those who are leaning on themselves, those who are like, well, I am the righteous one, I do whatever I want, those are the ones that he's bringing down. And the people who have leaned on God, the ones who trust in God, those are the ones that he will always guard over. So how is he guarding over us at this time? So I'm going to jump ahead to verse 20, and this is where I found it particularly interesting. It says, "Come, my people, enter your chambers, and shut your doors behind you. Hide yourself, as it were, for a little moment, until the indignation is past. For behold, the Lord comes out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity. The earth will also disclose her blood and will no longer cover her slain." And I think what God is saying that his judgment is now on the earth. As Christians, I think what we are to do is we are to shelter in place. He's saying, hey, I'm passing judgment on this earth. So if you're paying attention to me, and if you trust in me, then go into your house, if not for a little while, until the indignation is past. Now, I think for myself, I'm going to listen to this. For myself, I'm going to be obedient to this because I don't trust in government. Now, the government's saying a very similar thing, but I'm not doing it because the government said so. I'm doing it because God said so. It goes on to say in 27:1, "In the day the Lord with his severe sword, great and strong, will punish Leviathan the fleeing serpent, Leviathan the twisted serpent, and he will slay the reptile that is in the sea." Now, this is immediately following, saying, okay, do you trust me? If you trust in me, I will protect you. If you don't trust in me, I'm bringing you down. But if you trust in me, go into your house, stay safe at home, tell the indignation to pass, because what I'm about to do is I'm about to destroy the serpent from the sea. Now, Leviathan is an animal that comes way back from the book of Job, the oldest text in the Bible, probably the oldest complete text on the planet. And it's an animal that he shows Job, but it's also a reference to the beast, the Antichrist, the beast from the sea that we see in Revelation. So in my mind, what we're dealing with right now is we're kind of dealing with God's indignation on the earth, and he's definitely passing judgment. And he's definitely wanting to protect those who are righteous, those who are trusting in God, not those who in their mind are righteous and are trusting in themselves, not those people, but the ones who trust in God. So what I'm getting from this and what I'm going to recommend is stay safe at home. God, I believe, has given you that permission to stay safe at home. It's okay to stay safe at home. As a matter of fact, it's not the first time he's told his people to stay safe at home. He told them even back in Passover, you know, when God was passing judgment on the Egyptians to set free the Jews didn't just walk around and say, well, we're Jews, we're cool. No, they had to go inside. They had to paint the blood of the lamb on their posts. But they had to go inside. And I think it's time for us to go inside and really just see what it is God is doing, be in prayer. Now, with that being said, we are also the church. We are to get out the Word of God. We're to spread the Word of God throughout the uttermost parts of the earth. That never changes, and that's always the case. So I'm not saying go inside and bury your head. What I'm saying is go inside, but yet be the church. Be the church from inside. Be the church through the internet or whatever it may be. You know, it also says in Revelation that the Word of God will be known to the entire planet. And now, how is that supposed to take place other than something like the internet? So I think it's a very fragile time. Now, do I know exactly what's taking place right now? Of course I don't. Do I know what God's plan is? Definitely don't. Every time I think I do, He shows me that I don't. But I think it's important that we do listen to the Word of God, and it's okay to go inside. Now, in the same breath, we also as Americans need to be very, very careful not to freely give up our rights, because our rights are what hold us true to be able to freely worship God. So there's a fine line there. So at the same time, be very cautious of what is taking place in government. Just don't depend on government. Don't trust in government. These are very important aspects that we need to kind of pay attention to. So me personally, I believe that God is passing judgment on the earth, and that His indignation will come about, and it's best as Christians that we just kind of go inside for a while and let it pass. Just my 2 cents. If you like this video, click like and subscribe. If you feel called to support our channel through Patreon, that link is also below. But the most important part of this channel is we take prayer requests, and never hesitate to send that in. Thank you for watching this episode of God, Family, and Guns. And as always, love God, love your family, and love guns.